Moderator, esteemed judges, listening audience, colleague, opponents, I rise to persuasively make the case that the global rise in anti-immigration sentiments is not justified. In order to establish the parameters of our discourse, we define the following key terms. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines global as of, relating to, or involving the whole world, while rise means to increase in fervor or intensity. Anti is defined by the Cambridge Dictionary as opposed to or against a particular thing, while UNESCO describes immigration as the process of permanently or temporarily coming to a country where one was not born and acquiring significant social ties. Finally, using the Cambridge Dictionary, justified is defined as having good reason for something. Reframed, the moot therefore reads, the worldwide increase in fervor and opposition to the process of persons temporarily and permanently coming to a country where they were not born and acquiring significant social ties is not rooted in good reason. Moderator, throughout my discourse, I will focus on the positive economic impact that immigration brings to a country, namely economic growth, introduction of new skills that enhance the local labor force, the thriving financial environment which population diversity creates, and that a critical cog in our region's economic development, the Citizenship by Investment Program, is pro-immigration. Moderator, the first major point which must be made is the substantial impact that immigrants have on a country. This is certainly true in small islands such as Nevis and Montserrat, where we lack the critical mass to achieve economies of scale. Consider briefly the Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. At our last census, Nevis had a population of 11,415 persons, while St. Kitts had a population of 34,983. Thus, the population of St. Kitts is more than 3 times the size of Nevis. The result of this disparity is that an island such as St. Kitts is able to attract opportunities for economic investment, which are considered impractical and unsustainable in Nevis. An investor considering which island to establish a cinema complex would quicker opt for St. Kitts as opposed to Montserrat or Nevis, as we lack the population base to make it viable. Moderator, immigrants grow the market and boost supply and demand. Supporting sentiments are echoed by former principal of UWI, Professor Kenneth Hall, in his book, Caribbean Single Market and Economy, Genesis and Prognosis, where he stated that through the creation of a single economic space, service providers will have a wider access to market from which they can derive a profit, end quote. Moderator, it is against this backdrop that major economic institutions such as the CSME and the European Union were conceived to spur economic growth. Similarly, a coherent strategy that energizes migration can create a wider consumer base which encourages businesses to thrive. Moderator, another reason why we firmly oppose the moot is because immigration introduces new skills to enhance the host country's labor force. While some may have you believe that all immigrants do are take the jobs of locals, there are many instances where immigrants bring specialized skills not readily available in the host country and bring a different perspective or a more dynamic way of doing things. Consider firstly Silicon Valley in California. Silicon Valley is a global hub for business and technological innovation. In fact, it is home to some of the world's largest high-tech corporations. But moderator, do you know that several of these companies were founded by immigrants who brought their techniques and ingenuity from distant lands? The famous search engine Google was founded by a Soviet refugee named Sergey Brin. eBay was founded by Pierre Omidyar, an immigrant from France whose parents were Iranian refugees. Tech giant Apple was founded by Steve Jobs, the son of a Syrian immigrant. All of these companies employ thousands of people and were founded by immigrants who brought their ideas and initiatives to America. To bring the discussion closer home, we in the Caribbean have benefited richly from Cuban doctors who have migrated to our islands to render services in specialized areas of healthcare. According to the Ministry of Health Statistical Report 2016, St. Kitts and Nevis currently has 21 medical practitioners of Cuban origin. We have a Cuban nephrologist, an oncologist, a vascular surgeon, and the list continues. Immigration, therefore, is not merely an influx of people. It is an influx of skills which we can in turn transmit to our own nationals through training and knowledge transfer. Moderator, I also wish to draw your attention to the cities of New York, Paris, Los Angeles, Toronto, and London. What do they all have in common, you ask? They are the global capitals of finance, fashion, entertainment, and cuisine. But moderator, there is also another thread which runs seamlessly through the tapestry of their makeup: high immigrant populations. According to the most recent census figures for each city, immigrants make up 20.3% of Paris's population, 22.4% of New York's population, 34.7% for Los Angeles, 36.7% for London, and 48.6% for Toronto. The most vibrant cities of the world are also the cities with the highest immigrant populations. Is this all a coincidence? Scientific assessments to date don't seem to think so. In a 2015 study undertaken by the United Kingdom's Department of Business Innovation and Skills entitled "The Impact of Migrant Workers on UK Businesses," quote, "Migrants have brought culturally unique and complementary skills and ideas to the workplace. In other instances, they have upskilled colleagues, leading to improvements in success and innovation." Moderator, it is this melting pot of cultures that spurs creativity. Thus, it should not be a surprise that the cities which have openly welcomed immigrants are the ones reaping the financial benefits. Another salient point which I present for your consideration is the nature and construct of our Citizenship by Investment Program, CBI, and its concomitant contribution to our country's development. According to www.henleyglobal.com, the official website of one of the world's leading citizenship investment firms, Henley & Partners, citizenship by investment is, quote, "a form of economic citizenship which allows the acquisition of citizenship by means of an investment or a direct contribution to the state as a means of development of that country," end quote. Moderator, it follows, therefore, that CBI programs are essentially rooted in pro-immigration principles, for they invite non-nationals to come to our shores to invest and make a new life here. These programs also exist in the developed nations of the world. Countries such as the US, Canada, Switzerland, Portugal, and several other territories have their own versions of the CBI program, all of them geared at attracting the creme de la creme of the immigrant country to their borders. It is this pro-immigration program which has been the engine of economic growth for St. Kitts and Nevis for the last 10 years. Consider, moderator, that between December 2007 and December 2014, one component of the CBI program generated over EC $1.4 billion, as stated by Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, during his monthly press conference in April 2015. Furthermore, CBI financial statements for the years 2012 and 2013 indicated that the CBI generated more than $660 million, all immigrant money, moderator. From these funds, $10 million went to the government school improvement project, another $9 million to upgrade the Alexandria Hospital, and $2.5 million for the water enhancement project, all immigrant money. Moderator, the benefits of immigration to a country's economic fortunes are profound and palpable. and my colleague will further enlighten you on why support for this side of the debate is the only tenable position. We rest our case momentarily.